Welcome back to the stream, everybody. Today we have round 7 of ESC League of Legends. We are undefeated. 6-0 Miami University Redhawks are taking on the 5-3 Northern Illinois University Huskies in what should be some really good games today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's more of an even matchup than maybe we
Yes.
had in some of the previous weeks that we've watched. So it should be kind of back and forth, maybe trading blows and some hopefully some more interesting picks that aren't too interesting.
Yeah, so this is going to be nothing like the CMU games. This is going to be a much tougher opponent who has had some pretty good wins this season so far. They've beat Western Michigan University, which has a couple master tier players, and they've also beat Kent State, who has some challenger tier players on their team. So, I mean, this NIU team is looking pretty strong, and I'm excited to see what happens today.
Yeah, you could call them big game hunters because they
Yeah.
definitely seem to perform. Excuse me. They definitely seem to perform when the pressure is on and when they're against opponents that seem like the odds are stacked in their favor.
Yeah, and so for today, Miami University will be starting with Final Boss of Ohio in the top lane, HBTX in the jungle, Quagger in the mid lane, Lord Bonk Bonk in the bot lane, alongside Phantom as the support.
Yeah, and I mean that should be the roster that you expect generally for more of these competitive matchups. We'll have some shakeups every now and then, but generally it's a very solid team. I love they have amazing synergy. They
Oh, they
play
really
really
do.
well.
Yeah.
I really like Phantom, particularly in the bot lane. I think Beans has also shown to be quite great, but Phantom particularly has great movements on the map. A lot of these really early pressure roams and tower dives that are really important in the current meta. A lot with the lane swapping, you have to punish these solo laners.
Yep.
It's really interesting to see how Miami plays around that and has to remain really proactive, especially in the early game.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to sit in with the team last night as they were scrimming, and I got to watch Phantom's perspective. And man, that guy is something else. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what he does tonight. But NIU is bringing Swole Pengu in the top
Whoa.
lane. Yeah, good name. Fury in the jungle.
Cool.
B Chillin as their mid laner.
Okay. We're cooling things down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snark as the AD carry,
Snark.
and my favorite, Otter
It's
as a
always the
support.
supports, man. That's just adorable. I love
Yeah,
otters. Did you know? Fun fact about otters: they can actually eat sea urchins. They're like
I didn't know that.
they're super
Yeah.
toxic, and like really venomous slash poisonous. But the otters can eat them, and then they eat them while laying on their back, and it's really cute. They just sit there and they're so relaxed. I personally like if an aquarium or a zoo has otters. I'm there, man. You'll see
Dude,
me there.
I'm right there with you. I
Yeah.
love otters so much, but I'm interested to see how this draft goes. I know that Miami's been testing out a newer draft philosophy. We have a different strategy that we're taking with draft, especially against this NIU team who seems to play a lot of AD heavy champions. Their jungler likes to play Viego, Vi, Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
Their AD carry plays Ezreal and Corki, and even their top laner plays weird things like Aatrox and Nocturne top.
Nocturne's
Aatrox
so
isn't that weird,
based.
but
No.
Nocturne's weird.
Nocturne is a pick that I would love to see come out for I think
Yeah.
it's so funny. And Nocturne top isn't something that's that unorthodox. Like I've seen it played in the past. It's definitely something that's, seen some exposure. One thing that I'd like to point out is there is a lot in terms of shared overlap in the champ pools.
Yes.
So, particularly in the mid lane, we see the Anivia, I
Yep.
think, being played by both mid laners. Quaker probably knowing that pick really, really well.
Right.
So being either on the playing it or playing into it is going to be quite knowledgeable about that matchup. And then as well, we see in the bot lane even more of an overlap with that Ezreal and with that Corki. These are
Yep.
picks that we've seen both of these bot laners really enjoy playing. So I'm curious to see, which side of the matchup they prefer playing out more, what they're going to prioritize in draft, what's going to be banned away. That'll definitely be something that might decide these games.
Yeah, in the top lane too, we have an overlap with both top laners being like big fans of Camille.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how bans will go. I don't know if they're gonna ban those shared champ pools or if they're gonna try to leave one open to sneak a pick and get ahead that way. But the jungle is completely different. I mean, we're probably going to see a Shaco ban. We're probably going to see a Karthus ban.
I wouldn't be
Nobody wants
surprised.
to see HBTX on these guys.
No, I mean, like the Shaco, obviously, you just got to ban it. Like
Yeah.
it's just almost like you got to queue up to start the game. You got to ban the Shaco.
Yeah.
It's like just part of readying up. But I mean, like obviously the Karthus sometimes can slip through. That could be potentially disastrous if that's let through. But even I mean, HPTX is shown to be flexible in a lot of a variety of different picks.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if he wants to go the AP route, he has Evelyn. If he wants
Yeah.
to play AD, Belveth and Kindred.
And Evelyn was buffed recently, right? I
Yes.
believe so. Yeah. So and her rune tree was actually buffed as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. I believe we're heading into draft soon, but it should be interesting to keep track of all these different picks because I think given the similarities of the draft pool and in both of these teams, whichever team is going to be more proactive in draft is going to come in with a huge
Hmm.
advantage with a lot of these comfort picks that they like to play.
Now, the teams did elect to do a web draft before actual draft, so they already have their picks and bans set to go. We'll just kind of speed run you through
Yeah.
kind of what they were thinking, what the process was. We don't know the picks, excuse me, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm really looking towards this jungle matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, you have HBTX who really likes this Karthus, really likes to invade the enemy jungler. I don't
Yeah.
know how well that's going to go down on somebody who likes, I don't know, things like Viego, things like Vi, things like Xinjiao, who
Yeah.
tend to have stronger earlier
They
games
could
than,
scuffle for
yeah,
sure. Yeah, especially like something like the Zinzao with that passive makes him really good in like an invade scenario because if he's hitting these autos, he's hitting those 3-hit combos on you. He's constantly getting HP back.
yep.
So it's going to be hard to trade into that if he's able to lock something like that down in the draft. Maybe HPTX. I assume he probably knows that. So we'll see what again like what gets targeted, what gets taken away in order to limit the options that NIU has here.
But here we are into drafts. Like I said, they elected to do a web draft. They already know what their picks and bans are going to be. So it's going to be kind of a speed run. But we already see the Shaco being banned by NIU. That's just, like you said earlier, that's
Yeah.
just part of readying up for the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just similar to selecting your champ. You have to ban that one away. We do see Skarner being taken out as well. Not a huge pick from Fury, from what I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of an odd ban in my opinion. But like I said, like I made my predictions before the match started, but I'm 2 for 2 right now on the side of NIU banning out that Karthus.
And it seems like jungle is going to be the fixture, the focus from both sides here. That Viego also going to be taken out as well as the Anivia. That's a ban that's going to be impacting, like we said, both sides of this matchup. So we'll see how Miami chooses to respond. That Skarner being taken out, you're right, does leave me scratching my head a little bit, but it is just continuously a really OP pick on the patch. Lulu as well. Going to be receiving nerfs tomorrow, I believe,
Yep.
but still really strong. We see the Ornn hovered, locked in here, an immediate response with the Jax, or in a really safe weak side pick to
Yeah.
provide a lot of late game scaling and value into your team, building a ton of resistances and having a great value with the call of the Forge God in the team
Mm-hmm.
fights.
Kind of the rationale for the Lulu pick. Otter, the NIU support, really loves enchantresses. That's a hard word to say.
Enchanters, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Soraka being played a lot, but Lulu being their signature champion. They have
Hmm.
like little graphics on their stream. I watched it the other day.
Okay.
But Anivia, also kind of an interesting ban. But we do see the Vi and Victor being picked up here for NIU, along with the Belveth for HBTX.
Yeah, and then the Zillion going to be locked in the Bjergsen special from
Yep.
NA. Another pick that offers a lot of value in these team fights can allow for more of these survivability in these kind of like burst heavy teams where you'll see the Vi, for example, solo onto one of the targets on um, Miami, and then you pop the Zillion ult, and all that burst and all those resources that's invested in killing that one target, that dive is simply negated by the Zillion ult, which so it offers a lot of appeal. And then as well, something that is also being nerfed next patch is the Hui, but Lord Bongbok loves to pick that, and we see the Ezreal picked in turn.
Yeah, in the bans, I'm kind of intrigued. Miami elected to ban the Galio and the Nocturne. The Nocturne is kind of an odd one for me, but then NIU also banned out 2 top laners, seeing the Jax as well.
Hmm.
So I'm a little bit curious as to this last round of bans. But
Yeah.
we do see the Renata picked up for NIU. That's something that we haven't seen just yet from anybody. And Rel being locked in here for Miami University.
Yeah, the hostile takeover can have a lot of value with that Belveth. She has, I mean, she's able to suck up that attack speed. It can be quite lethal if that she's hit by that and her teammates are in range.
Hmm.
And we do see the Rel for Phantom to give Miami a bit of a more of a go button besides that Jax. And I really like it's just solid peel for the Hui pick. So both teams pretty strong team fight. Obviously, I think it's pretty clear what uh, Northern Illinois is going for
Yeah.
in their draft. They have the engage button, they have the follow up. the Chaos Storm can really do work once these games start to get a little bit later. With the expansion that it can do, it can get bigger, it can last longer, and also like we mentioned, the Call of the Forge God. But I will be interested to see HBTX on that Belveth with another comfort pick can get those resets if these fights really start to go long, people start to get taken down, and Quaker going to be dishing out a ton of utility with all these like these stuns, these slows, these revives.
Yeah, I'm kind of if this game goes the distance, I'm kind of scared of that NIU comp. I mean,
Yeah.
Ornn, once he hits, I believe it's 15,
13,
13, 15.
13,
Yeah,
yeah.
13, he can upgrade his own items. And then each level beyond that, he can upgrade his team's items, making them a little bit stronger. And then that Victor as well is just going to scale as the game progresses. Granted, he does have a little bit of a cap once he, I think it's I don't know how many minions it is, but
Yeah.
300 stacks of his passive. He gets to upgrade everything that he has, which makes him a little bit stronger. So I'm just a little bit nervous if this
Yeah.
goes a little bit too long. But I know that Lord Bonk Bonk is very comfortable on this way.
Yep.
I guarantee you that Phantom is going to be looking to make some early plays on that rel.
Yes.
So
Some
I'm not
roams.
too scared. I'm excited to see how this goes.
No, I think both teams got a lot of what they were looking for in the draft. I think Miami's bans were a little bit questionable at some points just
Yeah.
because they feel like they kind of missed the points when they were trying to target. Maybe they were like still looking for maybe got a little confused about that nocturne. But overall, not bad. It's definitely playable from both sides. I think Miami has to be careful with how they approach this because
Yeah.
they can really be punished. And what if this NIU comp gets any kind of momentum, it's going to be really hard to um, be a threat in these team fights.
Then we haven't seen it quite too often, but I really enjoy that Zillion pick for Quegger. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a champion that bottles up experience, and then you can dish it out to your teammates to help them level up a little bit faster. So that'll help accelerate, Lord Bonk Bonk on the Hui or HBTX on the Belveth, which, I mean, if both of those guys can get some sort of momentum going, it's kind of doomed for NIU. So I'm excited to see what happens. Any other notes that you have on this draft?
Yeah, one more thing I think that's important to note is that Belveth, being that Void champion that she is, really likes to prioritize
Mm,
these early game objectives, particularly the Void grubs, because it will give her empowered form, which allows her to do a lot more things. She can go over walls with her dashes, and it's really, really impactful to get that early game Void Coral, especially from the Void objective. So I imagine that we will see the side of Miami really prioritizing those grubs early
yeah.
game.
I imagine along with trying to get those grubs, some topside pressure, but I don't doubt it'll be difficult for, I mean, a player like Final Boss of Ohio who's on his jacks going up against Ornn. I don't doubt that he can get some sort of priority in lane, especially with HBTX being up there trying to get him ahead. And Quager, who we've seen roam a lot and is trying to make plays on this map
Hmm.
at all times.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Should be an exciting game. Stick around. We'll get it to you real soon.
And welcome back to the Rift, everyone. We didn't yap just quite long enough, but a
Yeah.
short little break doesn't hurt the mind or the soul. Here we are on the Rift, Miami University versus NIU, with the Redhawks looking to keep their win streak alive.
Yeah, and I mean, when I said real soon, I wasn't lying. I never lie.
No,
Okay.
he doesn't. He's a
No.
very honest man, Devin
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So we do see that there's the 5-man movement top lane by Northern Illinois trying to maybe catch Miami off guard, but Miami responding in turn with the 5-man invade of the bottom side jungle. And it looks like they're not going to find a lot in that 5-man top lane. So, and they're also going to find that no one is home.
I love when this happens. This just makes for a great comedic start to the game.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at some of the runes here. Lord Bonk Bonk going with the summon Arian Quegert with the unsealed spell book.
Yeah, and it looks like that maybe Vi is going to be starting her blue. So
Yeah.
they won't. Maybe Ezreal might misstep, go through the jungle, and find all members of Miami there. But it looks like he's just going to walk through the lane, and maybe a counter invade um, being dished up here.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that HBTX love these early game plays, so I think NIU is just preparing for that. But
Yeah, again.
HBTX really deep in the jungle. NIU did set a ward at their red, so I imagine they will be able to spot out HBTX here unless he goes through the wall and just goes to the Raptors.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to opt for the Raptors. Won't be spotted in that ward. Quagert also going to walk up, just make sure no one is on that red buff. And HBTX probably just going to swipe those away. Final boss of Ohio, this should be a pretty uneventful matchup, perhaps. You know, Orin can do, you know, there was that point where he was kind of like an assassin mage, everything.
Gosh, don't remind me.
Yeah, but you know, this champion is full of surprises, but usually it depends on how you play him. But in situations like these, especially when you're up against the final boss of Ohio, probably better to play it a bit safer. It's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of smacking.
HBTX did grab the Raptors and also moved to the Krugs as well. I'm not sure if he was spotted out on that ward, but he will be right now. They do see HBTX taking the NIU red, but
Yeah.
a little bit of poking coming up from Snark, who did elect to take Conqueror instead of press the attack in this match.
Yeah, so he will be pinged. They are roaming up to maybe see if they can find him on this red buff. I think they know, and he's in a really tough spot. I think he might be, oh, but then he's going straight into the mid lane, and that is going to be first blood given over to the victor. A little bit greedy. Phantom as well, maybe a bit out of position. Does he want to take this fight? I don't think so. He's a little low.
Yeah, that's just a little bit tough for HBTX there. I mean, they spotted out on the ward doing the red. Thankfully, he did get the Raptors and the Krugs, which will set this Vi back just a little bit. But it seems like that Fury here is going to try to invade HBTX's blue side.
Yeah, Phantom also taking some more damage, as well as Lord Bonk Bonk. Final Boss of Ohio getting a good trade there onto the Ornn. Ornn has to be careful. Can just backpedal a bit, maybe get some of that HP back. But, you know, Fury as well for the counter, or for the invade. And I don't know if HBTX is going to be able to do much here.
Yeah, that's just unlucky getting spotted out. But HBTX is going to find Fury.
Yeah.
But Fury's just going to queue right on out of there.
And something important to note for our viewers at home is that Victor picking up that first kill, even if he got just the assist, gets him very much accelerated on his hex core, because for a takedown he gets 25 out of the required 100 to level 1 ability. So really impactful to get that early game kill onto the Victor.
Yeah, so speaking back to that Victor, for every 1 CS that he gets 1 stack for his passive, but 25.
Quagert forced a flash by Beast Fridge, finding another kill in the mid lane, and kind of an early game disaster for Miami. Both kills going on to this Victor.
Yeah, but going back to what I was saying, Victor now has 50 plus 28, 70, almost 80 stacks for his first upgraded ability already, which is not somewhere where you want to be right now.
Yeah, Miami looking a little bit shaky on some of these early game rotations. HBTX maybe getting punished a little bit for his hubris in that jungle play. But here he is again on the Raptors. Might be caught, though, by Fury. Fury roaming down. I don't think they know that he's here. He's probably going to be able to get these if Renata doesn't get that. But good dodge there with the Q. HBTX just kind of have to waddle backpedaling. Phantom in the area. Can they take this? Teleport being invested by Final Boss of Ohio. They want the fight. Backpedals by Northern Illinois, and they do find the Renata, the bailout going to be placed, and they feed the kill to Lord Bonk Bonk. Very nice counterplay from Miami to catch the extension by Northern Illinois.
Yeah, I think HBTX here is getting really aggressive, kind of maybe even overextending a little bit, getting caught out. But that was a great move by Miami University to just collapse. It was a little bit unfortunate. I saw a couple of abilities miss. Phantom missing the Shattering Strike from the Rel, which would have made things a little bit easier. But overall, 1 kill for Miami, 0 going over for NIU. I take that any day of the week.
Yeah, and it's going on to Lord Bonk Bonk, which is exactly where you want this gold. And the good thing about Zillion, I think it was Zillion's TP actually. I said Final Boss of Ohio. I'm not entirely sure, but both of them don't have TP. And yeah, I think Lord Bonk Bonk definitely wants this gold early game. Final Boss of Ohio going aggressive here, just going to stop that crafting.
Yeah, and this is what we were saying before the game started with Final Boss of Ohio just trying to get some sort of early lane pressure, but we see Phantom lurking, like we said, with the roams as well. He really likes to get aggressive on these kind of engaged champions.
And we'll see if he takes the bait. Doesn't look like it. Lord Bonk Bonk laning solo here. Familiar setting for him. See Vi going to be looking towards this mid lane. HBTX in the area, I believe, spotted out the Vi there. Just going to queue away. HBTX looking for more. The knockdown is going to be dodged. HBTX taking a turret shot. and Lord Bonk Bonk doing quite well for himself down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, but with the flash on Fury burned and you have 3, 4 members of Miami up on those grubs, I think they're going to be able to take those pretty handily. But Fury making that good jungle decision to go and match HBTX on the bottom side of the jungle and try to take that dragon.
Yeah, we mentioned that these grubs are going to be incredibly consequential because that does enable HBTX to have his early game empowered form, which is really good for just his plays, his playmaking in the game. He's going to get these 3 void grubs. Also going to be beneficial for the Jax for his split push and his side laning. Just generally a good objective, but is going to be traded for that lone Hextech soul. We're going to have a little bit of a freeze here.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did mention Victor with these 2 kills early on in the game. I'm not too concerned about those kills just yet. I mean, Quaker as the Zillion is able to play from pretty far back and is able to just control the wave and control the lane how he wants to. So I don't know if he'll be taking any aggressive trades that'll get him killed pretty early on. So I don't mind the 2 kills being on the
I,
Victor, but
I
I
do.
don't like it.
No, I don't think you really can be happy, especially
Yeah.
on Victor, who's such a really a late game monster. Especially, I mean, even if he gets any kind of items, like the build we're seeing now is the immediate Blackfire Torch,
Yep.
which provides you so much sustained damage in these extended team fights. It's not like a Leandry's where it's like more like this. It's like an immediate burn, especially when the Chaos Storm hits multiple members. You have so much damage, you get so much more extra ability power
Yep.
from that item. So I think it's such a really impactful thing item to start, and it can really make these team fights harder to execute for Miami if they do not burst him down quickly. And this Victor seems like he has good positioning. I'm impressed from what I've
Yeah.
seen from Northern Illinois. Like we've seen. I mean, they can match all the movements from Miami. But Lord Bonk Bonk, like we said, playing really well in that 1v2 situation, making sure that he's not giving anything over, still keeping up in CS. That's what we like to see. I mean, he's very self-sufficient
Yeah.
in these situations where Phantom tries to go get more pressure on the map. Sometimes succeeds, sometimes doesn't. But at the end of the day, it's good.
Yeah, and with Phantom roaming around the map, it gives Lord Bonk Bonk some time to just stay in lane,
Mhm.
and he's soaking up. He doesn't have to split experience anymore, so it gives Lord Bonk Bonk a little bit of a level advantage over Snark, the Ezreal,
Mhm.
with alongside with Quegert being able to feed him a little bit more experience. That's just going to get Lord Bonk Bonk further ahead in this game. But I want to touch on Phantom's roams. I mean, he
Yeah.
goes top, nothing really there. But then when they move over to Grubs, they see the Vi, they force the flash out of Fury. So
That's
that's a good trade.
grubs. I
That's a
mean,
great
yeah, no,
trade.
they get grubs for that. It does result in the kind of the classic grubs dragon trade. We are having a bit of technical difficulties right now. We should be able to get the game back pretty soon. But yeah, like you were saying, I think Hui is particularly a pick that facilitates that type of play style because it's
Yeah.
so much easier to last hit minions when you have that kind of the Q. I believe it's the QW combo, or no, the QE combo.
And here we are back in the game. Sorry about that technical difficulties, but looks like we're getting into some action with HBTX looking for something bot lane, but just backs out of it.
Yeah, isn't going to find much. Lord Bonk Bonk wanted to follow up with that empowered speed. But that's just going to be HP Check showing himself bot lane, final boss, doing pretty well, keeping a really consistent CS advantage. But that is going to be a really positive trade. But Ornn, like I said, this champion is so deceptive. Like
Yeah.
he just can trade so much back. Final boss of Ohio popping the ult isn't going to find a lot of kill pressure because Ornn, despite being able to dish out damage, takes absolutely zero.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like we missed too much during that break. I mean, no kills were gathered on either side. So thankfully, you didn't miss much. But a little lead is forming here in the mid lane. 3,800 gold to 31. But it looks pretty even on all other sides of the map, with Lord Bonk Bonk finishing his Blackfire Torch, which is going to give him a nice power spike early in this game.
Yeah, it's just such a annoying item to play against. It has that lost chapter, so you get that mana, which is really important for Victor, who's constantly going to be dishing out spells. We do see a 3-man roam up here, support in the area, maybe looking to find some type of fight here. They know that Phantom is missing from the lane. I think they spotted him.
Yeah, I think Miami has full vision on everything that's going on here, but that's just going to give Lord Bonk Bonk more time to just free farm, get some more experience, and build a little bit of a lead. So I don't hate this from Miami, but it's a little worrying that not too much has been happening so far.
Yeah, and then HPTX just trying to stand their ground here, looking to get the grubs, but it looks like the early rotation by NIU is really going to pay off. They have first move. And this is a bit dicey. I mean, I don't know if Final Boss of Ohio wants to fight this, but it looks like they're going, and they go immediately onto Phantom. Immediately, he's going to be taken down. Quaker trying to dish out damage back. Lord Bonk Bonk dishing out a ton, but they don't have the follow-up. HBTX looking for something maybe, but isn't going to find much with the bailout. He is going to fall. Final Boss of Ohio with the triple stun, and it is HBTX looking for a ton, gets the reset on his ult, and finding a ton of those those resets.
That was a huge re-engage by HBTX, being able to pick up the first kill and stack those resets, and then comes out with 2 of those grubs. That gives Miami the 4 grub power spike that they need. And that was a great teleport by Lord Bonk Bonk, just coming flying across the map and being able to dish a ton of damage with that Unending Despair. So what a great play by Miami University. I'm not sure who got to 3 kills first. I believe it was
Northern
NIU.
Illinois, yeah.
So that's a little bit unfortunate, but Miami is in the lead in terms of epic jungle monsters on the monster slaying portion of feats of strength.
Yeah, sorry, that there was so much happening in that fight. There was the immediate engage onto, I believe, Phantom with the Vi ult, the cease and desist, and just like a layering. But we do see, like you said, the Lord Bonk Bonk TP was super consequential. Call of the Forge about hitting 3 on Miami's side, so a little bit late to deal that damage back. But we do see, look at how impactful that Spiraling Despair was, and HBTX finding a bit of an angle. They're all stacked up in that way ability. And Final Boss of Ohio just seeing this, getting the triple stun, HBTX following up immediately and getting huge amounts of damage. There's his the Belveth, for those of you who don't know, similar to Viego a little bit. Instead of possessing enemy champions when he takes them down, or the Belveth takes them down, it's like this little piece, it's called Void Curl, that gets left behind, and then she can pick that up to gather kind of infinitely scaling attack speed, and it will cause this explosion, this big purple explosion like you saw, which does like a shock wave of percent max health through damage, which is the best type of damage. It ignores all resistances.
Final Boss of Ohio being able to get in their leap strike 3-man stun with the counter strike, that just opened the floodgates for HBTX to get in there and get those resets. That was a really, really good play and really good awareness by Final Boss.
Yeah, completely turning that fight around because it looked really dicey. I mean, the bailout was just a little bit too late. I mean, I think on the backside of that fight, we did see, I believe, I think it was Orn falling. Phantom going to be here to facilitate that escape. And yeah, we're starting to see the impact of these grubs. And HBTX finding Renata here, gonna grab that buff, and like you said, or like I said, being able to hop over those walls is incredibly helpful.
Yeah, and while we were watching that replay, NIU did pick up that second Drake of the game, the Infernal, and we do see that we are going to get Chemtech Drake as our soul for this game.
So Orn, Renata, really liking that. A little bit of Vi as well. I think it's really good for these like more tanky champions, building the tenacity. Yeah. It's not the worst, definitely not the best. Phantom gonna spot this out here, but Fury able to snag away that large raptor.
Yeah, and that Vi is just so slippery, being able to just Q right on out of any sticky situation that she gets into. That really doesn't help with what HBTX wants to do. He wants to get on your jungler and kill them immediately.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit unfortunate in that sense, but Final Boss of Ohio is building so much pressure top lane into this Ornn. I mean, I think half the tower is already down. We do see that Otacon will be spawning on the top lane this game, so I can only imagine that HBTX is only going to give this top lane even more pressure.
Yeah, and Lord Bonk Bonk getting to work on this bot tower, just getting it low, got that 5 grub buff. Everyone on Miami is making use of these grubs. Quaker doing quite well. Kind of a lower economy pick on this Zillion. Got that Rod of Ages to just ensure that late game scaling. And HBTX here to also help Final Boss Ohio shove in his wave, or as I like to say, just kind of take some minions.
Lord Bonk Bonk trading here with Snark.
Yeah, might be in trouble. I mean, he really doesn't have the ability. Whiffs the Spiraling Despair. Snark landing his skill shots, and that is just going to be an awkward death from Lord Bonk Bonk. Kind of uncharacteristic. You don't see that from him too often. He's usually pretty careful.
That was you hate to see it. You hate to see a player miss so many skill shots and so many abilities in such a short amount of time. But during that, Final Boss and HBTX were able to take this top turret, but Final Boss trading with Swole Pingu.
Yeah, and then the support of Northern Illinois Otter is in the area, dissuading any follow-up or counter-engage from Final Boss. And we also see Fury in the area just to make sure that there isn't anything else coming from that play. But we do see HBTX in the area, going to be whiffing the W. We're seeing a lot of stuff being missed, but he does find a kill in trade
Yeah,
on that Ezreal.
that
Going to
was
be a
great
shutdown.
awareness by HBTX, seeing Snark underneath that tower. But that does give NIU the information that HBTX is nowhere top lane, and they are able to pick up the Rift Herald in turn for that kill.
Yep, and Phantom going to have to hop over that wall. Have feats of strength been claimed? I think they have.
Feats of
Yeah.
strength have been claimed by NIU. They do have the tier 2 upgraded boots so far, so I believe they got that off of 3 kills
And the objectives. Yeah.
yes, the epic jungle monsters, because they did. Oh,
Grab the Herald.
yeah,
Yeah.
they grabbed the Herald off of that. So a little bit unfortunate for this game, but I don't think that's going to be anything that sets Miami too far back. We do see that Miami does have a 2K gold lead in this game, so things aren't doomed. I mean, nothing's
No.
doomed yet. It's a pretty even game state so far.
Yeah, to me, this looks like, at least for right now, nothing blows open. It's kind of just going to be a hands check. Like, we
Yeah.
saw Miami be able to recover from a bit of a deficit in that team fight. But if they can continue to do that, it's really, that's what's going to be the deciding factor. Because there isn't really any X factors. We do see Fury going deep here onto Quaker. Not going to find much exhaust being used, but that is cease and desist being used for almost nothing.
Yeah, that's a really vital cooldown on the side of NIU being blown for a spellbook exhaust from Quaker.
Yeah, and
that's a great trade for Miami.
Yeah, because Dragon is about to spawn. Maybe Miami looks to contest this without the Vi ult. HBTX has to be careful, though. Can't be caught out of position.
HBTX getting caught out by Fury is going to try to dip right on out of there and does so,
yeah,
thankfully.
So, yeah, not going to be caught before that Dragon, but that does mean that they are kind of walking in blind. Final Boss of Ohio is in the area to help this fight, but they don't have this vision to be able to contest immediately. They're trying to play it slow, but there is a ton of poke. Let's see if they can find a way in.
Yeah, Lord Bonk Bonk not there either to support them with so much AP damage, but it looks like NIU is going to try to start the strike up.
Yeah, HBTX taken low immediately, but we do see the hostile takeover is massive, but the Spiraling Despair is also coming through, and it is just a wipe on HBTX getting that ultimate reset. He just takes out all members of Northern Illinois, and the rest are left scrambling for the hills. It is a huge team fight. The layering of damage was just so difficult to deal with. Ezreal as well, also being caught out of position, looking for the trade kill back on Lord Bonk Bonk, will find it, but in the meantime, Final Boss of Ohio also, I believe, finds a kill.
Oh,
almost dies
down.
to the tower, taken very low there, playing with fire.
HBTX is looking like a nuclear void bomb right now. I mean, he just dips in there, pops his ult, and just blows up the enemy team. You love to see it. That was a great fight from MU as well. Even with the engage from NIU with the Orn Horn, I mean, the hostile takeover is just, I don't know, man.
I mean, it's awfully reminiscent of his Karthus gameplay.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he wasn't dead, but the enemy team was, as soon as he was able to get kind of any kind of damage. And that combined with the Spiraling Despair just made it so hard. Like, it looked tough. I mean, the hostile takeover had insane amounts of value, but just look at this. One reset by HBTX, and that percent max health through damage just wipes all of these members of Northern Illinois off the map. Yeah, Lord Bonk Bonk looking for more, gonna get chunked by that True Shot Barrage, and that's why what enabled I think it, yeah, so he does flash to get that kill. Important summoner going to be used.
But again, we see that Final Boss of Ohio came in with the counter engage of that counter strike and picks up 3 members again, which gives HBTX that agency to just get in there and blow people up. But I mean, Snark on the back end of that, it was a good flash to kill Lord Bonk Bonk.
But that's an important summoner. I mean, Ezreal,
a very important summoner.
Ezreal does have that a bit more frequently than a lot of other ADC champions, has a bit more of an ability to appear themselves. But you know, at the same time, you don't want to be giving Flash for just 1 kill in a Doom team fight. You know, the Dragon was taken. I mean, it's good to get 1 kill back, but you got to think forward and how you can maybe do better. For Northern Illinois, obviously the game state isn't the best. Like, there was a big shift, but we do see Otacon being started here.
Yeah, Miami's starting a really aggressive Otacon. They are going to be able to spot out Vi, which is very important if you're trying to sneak something like this. But HBTX is really strong right now. Stridebreaker and Blade of the Ruin King completed 6-1 and 3. He's looking dangerous.
Yeah, the Rift Herald's going to be dropped in return to maybe find something mid. They probably will get that outer mid tower, maybe get to work on the inner. Um, but I don't know. I mean, that's Otacon being taken, and yeah, this mid tower is going to fall here. That's just a trade in return. And yeah, they're going to stop that push. Quaker going to be here to catch whatever's left of that wave. Rift Herald will fall as well. Final Boss of Ohio going to be happy with that Otacon. And now Miami's in the driver's seat. They can take a really greedy fight and just try to find members of Northern Illinois to get even more tempo on the map. HPTX looking for more here as well onto the Ornn. Is it going to find a ton? That guy is a meatball.
Yeah, like you were saying, with the Otacon being taken here, Miami has around 2.5 minutes to just play around and try to force something really aggressive. I mean, getting the GA off of the Otacon, getting those kills onto the members of Miami University will slow down their tempo just a bit. But I mean, they are in the driver's seat of this game, like you were saying, and they can start getting really aggressive while they have this Otacon GA on them.
Yeah, I mean, your whole play style kind of has to. It's weird how quickly some league players adapted to this, which is interesting. Which is like you just kind of have to run at them, and it's a little bit weird to play that way when you especially in a setting like this where you're used to playing and trying not to drop any unnecessary members and play pretty conservatively in these team fights. But once you get this Otacon buff online, you just wanna you're bloodthirsty. You see red.
Yeah, and Final Boss was putting a lot of pressure down in the bot lane. We see the Victor was there to match him. The top lane is going to start pushing towards NIU here with that wave. So Miami has, I mean, full control of this map and can start looking for something really aggressive here.
Yeah, HBTX fishing in this jungle. His manta ray form. He's going to be swooping around. Doesn't have the empowered form right now. Ezreal W going to go wide there. Phantom just trying to clear at any vision to make it that much harder to roam and try and get space back on this map.
Even if Miami doesn't force a fight while they have this Otacon buff, it's enough of a deterrent for NIU to engage onto them. It kind of prevents your Vi from going in with the season desist. It kind of stops your Renata from using the hostile takeover or your Ornn using the Ornn horn. So
any picks, any like sloppiness from
yeah,
Miami is there's kind of like a band-aid there. And yeah, like you said, it just kind of allows them to play a little bit differently. And the amount of vision and map prio that they're getting is really good. Obviously, you'd want to see something more aggressive, but it's not like Baron where you're just like completely wasting it. We do see it fade there. Right as Dragon is spawning, Fury nowhere near the area, and it looks like Miami's going to be able to pick this one up for free and equalize the score of these Dragons. And that's really going to hurt Northern Illinois because the primary method back into this game was objectives. Obviously, you have that Ornn getting to the point where he's going to start upgrading your team's items, but that amount of stats isn't going to be anything crazy.
Yeah, and it looks like they're setting up for a dive here on this Victor in the bot lane, or are going to at least try to take the turret, forcing the flash with HBTX.
Yeah, and he's going to be caught taken really low. Spiraling Despair is cooking, and that will be the end of Beast Bridge.
Yeah, so that's going to be, hopefully, the bot lane turret picked up, but we do see Fury and Swolpengu moving over, while the Ezreal and the Renata were putting some pressure on that mid inner tower.
Yeah, Teleport going to be enlisted by Final Boss of Ohio to stop that push from going any further. They don't want to give away that inner tower. And Quaker going to find Otter maybe in this bottom, or in this topside jungle. It's going to be taking the Empowered Blast Cone out of there. Fury clearing his red buff meanwhile. Otter may be in a really tough spot here, though. Phantom in the area. They don't have a ton of damage, but it does look like Final Boss of Ohio is in the area, and Otter is not going to be long for this world. Oh, I can't watch. I love Otters.
Rest in peace, Otter. But we do see the Otacon buff has expired for the side of Miami University. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get anything out of that movement on the bot lane, but they are here setting up for the Baron, seeing if they can sneak it 25 at spawn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Northern Illinois knows this is coming. I mean, they got the notification, and Fury's in the area, maybe looking for a potential steal. But this is tough. Scattering Strike going to go wide. Fury's still making it so it's a possibility. Magnetstorm going to be coming down. Final Boss of Ohio going to just try and burst down Fury, and he will. No chance at a steal now. Lord Bonk Bonk getting to work, and that is Baron falling, and another empowered form for this Bel'Veth, looking like just a menace.
Yeah, during that time while they were taking the Baron, Swolpengu on that Ornn, a very pivotal part of the NIU team fight, was pushing in the bot lane and recalled. Wasn't able to get anything off of the turret, so that was a free pickup for Baron for Miami. As soon as they saw Fury, as soon as they took Fury down, That was a free Baron.
Yeah, and I'm keen to see if Miami's going to be a bit more aggressive, like than they were with that Otacon. At that point, it was still like, oh, we could still slip up here, but I'm hoping that Miami uses this Baron to the full extent, try and break open the base of Northern Illinois, and make it that much easier for them to close this one out.
Yeah, Miami setting up with this Baron a 1-3-1. One in the top lane, three in the mid lane, one in the bot lane. For reviewers at home, what you want to do is you want to put pressure on all three side lanes, and if you catch somebody in the jungle, you all just collapse and kill them.
Yeah, an important note, if we pan down to the Belveth, I don't know if we can, that it starts to get to a point where you're playing StarCraft, because when you get that empowered Void buff from the Baron, when you kill minions, you spawn your own little Void fish and things that make it so you can just generate a massive amount of a wave, and we do see them down there. HPTX can be taken low, Cease and Desist going to be used, but Phantom in the area to back him up, and those empowered uh,
The siege
melons,
minions?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
yeah,
fruits,
the melons,
the fruits.
yeah. Final Boss of Ohio, just trying to take down this tower. Does Ornn have the damage? I don't think he can stop this. No, Final Boss of Ohio just ignoring him flat out.
Final Boss did not care about that Ornn whatsoever, and
And
HBTX was even able to get that bottom turret in the end. So all three inner turrets for NIU will be taken down by Miami University. This is looking really good. That Baron was a great turnaround for the team.
Yeah, they're just doing exactly what I said, just trying to push this Baron as far as they can. And we did see all those little fish swimming around in the bot side before they were taken out, but we got some more.
But this is kind of what we were talking about with the 1-3-1. They're able to put pressure on all three side lanes.
Ornhorn being used. HBTX just gonna dip out of the way, gonna throw out that question mark, and that's an important cooldown also being taken. HBTX looking for this tower.
HBTX wants this tower real bad, and thankfully has a lot of mobility to just dip on out of there.
Yeah,
but
it's running close to, or getting close to running out of his powered form. Going to try and grab that wave and just get those little creatures to storm the tower. If Fury decides to interrupt the back, I don't think he will. He's got that empowered back.
Looks like Miami's just going to back, reset, get their buys, and try to set up for this next Drake, which is coming up in 35-ish seconds.
Death Cap is going to be completed on the way.
Oh,
really
dangerous.
Important item. Yeah, it's just going to make it even harder for the side of Northern Illinois to just ignore these skill shots.
HBTX has 4 items. Stridebreaker, Blade of the Rune King, Hullbreaker, and Wit's End.
I love when junglers build Stridebreaker. I think it's so funny.
This is a scary, scary Belveth, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and something to note, I was looking at this earlier, Quaker for opting for more of the supportive build, but also it's allowed Phantom to, like, not only to leave Lord Bonk, but also it's made it so it's difficult to punish him XP wise, because the Zillion can just constantly dip the extra levels and experience that he's getting into this rel.
Yeah, and Miami has a huge level advantage as well. Final Boss is 2 levels up on this Ornn. HBTX is 5 levels up on this Vi. Quaker 2 levels up on the Victor, and I mean bot and support is even. But when your solo laners and your jungle are this far ahead against their counterparts, that's not a position that you want to be in.
Yeah, HPTX trying to go aggro on Beastfridge. Beastfridge going to be forced to lay down that W. HPTX, though, might be in a little bit of trouble. Cease and Desist going to be utilized, and it's all members. HPTX trying to go aggressive, trade something back maybe, but it is just going to be him falling. Little too ego there, but in return, Final Boss of Ohio and Phantom going to be finding stuff on the top side. Ornhorn being used. Who are they going to use it on? Final Boss of Ohio going to be knocked up, but we do see the Spiraling Despair coming down on top of Fury. Not enough to take him out, and Miami looking for more. Yeah, Final Boss of Ohio still alive.
Even though HBTX was taken down in that fight, it allowed Miami to pick up the top tower and inhibitor, and potentially even this mid lane inhibitor.
Yeah, they're going to grab 2, maybe look for a third. Triple inhib makes it so hard to play for Northern Illinois. It means basically, if it wasn't already, all your map pressure is gone. You need people in this clearing these waves. Final Boss of Ohio looking onto, and that's a great Magnus Swarm. The Hostile Taker going to get a lot in return, though. Final Boss of Ohio maybe going a bit too deep with that Leap Strike. Does have the GA, and he is just insane. Who can do damage to this guy? He's just running through the fight, and the Spiraling Despair is going to do, or the Hui is just going to do a ton of work, and Miami looks to end the game.
Yeah, what a great fight from Miami University. Final Boss of Ohio jumped in there with the Counter-Strike, but then we saw the Rel hop in with the Magnet Storm, which allowed Final Boss to flash and pick up another 3-man stun. But that's going to be game 1, with with Miami University taking it in 30 minutes in dominant fashion.
Yeah, I mean, it looked just so clinical. At a certain point, after Miami got uh, back on the saddle, back in control of this game, they really were able to take all parts of the map, all aspects of their gameplay, and just clean it up. Like, I mean, like you said, they were looking a little bit shaky at the beginning. Giving those 2 kills early to Victor is something obviously you want to worry about.
Yeah.
But they cleaned it up and they made plays on the map. They were proactive. They knew what their comp did. They used a zillion geniusly. Like
Yes.
it was so amazing to see that they like obviously when you have a support, we've seen it in previous games. I don't know, some viewers will remember there was a game where we played against an Elise, and they
Mm.
this
Oh.
Elise was
Oh my
constantly
gosh.
top lane, and as a result of that they had lots of dives on Final Boss of Ohio, found a lot of kills there,
Hmm.
but was level like 3 when
Yeah.
our support was like level 5 nearing level 6. So there is a price to be paid for these more aggressive support roams towards the top lane, towards other lanes, but with the Zillion, you can kind of like throw that out the window. So really amazing to see how Quagert's pick can facilitate this more of a greedy play style by Miami, and HBTX firmly showing that he is not just an AP merchant. He can play so many different other angles, and it really just beautiful stuff.
Yeah, one thing I think Miami does beautifully is just feeding the side laners, feeding the people that you know can put a lot of pressure onto the map. I mean, that Jax, we know Final Boss of Ohio is a split pusher. We
Yep.
know he loves to do that. When he's split pushing, solo EXP, solo towers, solo gold. He's just getting so fed in those side lanes. But then you have Lord Bonk Bonk on the way, who maybe doesn't get as much time to free farm or to
Well, he sits
gather
under
all that,
tower.
yeah, to get
Yeah.
all that solo EXP. But I mean, the Zillion kind of helps make up for that. And either way, Lord Bonk Bonk's going to play out of his mind. He's going to
Yeah.
be strong in the end.
We saw a couple whiffs, skill shots that death to Ezreal, but we don't have to worry about
The
that.
Ezreal bot lane 1v1 does not exist.
Yeah, that actually never. There is no war in Bossing
There is
Say.
no war in
Yeah,
Bossing Say.
to shout out to the people that know that reference. But yeah. I mean, again, we saw Lord Bonkalonk crawling back, claiming any deficit that they had, encountered in these team fights, and that's really where Miami shined. That's really where we saw the value of this Jax. Final Boss of Ohio leaping in, getting
Oh my gosh.
two 3-man stuns to
I think it was
turn these
three
fights.
three-man
Three
stuns.
3-man
Yeah.
stuns. Yeah, one at the end there
It was
maybe.
one Grubs, one Dragon, and one in the base.
Oh man,
Man.
just beautiful textbook clinical stuff. And we did see like that Renata was incredibly valuable. These hostile takeovers looked like it was enough to turn these fights, but then all it took was like one HBTX seeing that little purple thing on the ground.
Yep.
Ooh, picks it up. Boom.
Boom. It's just a
Northern,
nuclear
yeah,
explosion in the
Northern
jungle.
Illinois just no longer there. Not even their shadows on the ground.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
I think Miami also plays their comps really well. I mean, they know the Jax, we've already mentioned, likes the side lane, but you mentioned before the game Belveth wanting to pick up the Grubs. And they did a great job at controlling the Grubs, and Jackson did a fantastic job at being there, spotting out the Vi when needed.
mm-hmm.
So they were able to pick up 5 Grubs. Unfortunately, we didn't pick up the Herald, but I mean,
No,
what
I
does it
mean we
matter? We
didn't
won.
drop. Yeah,
But the 25 off spawn Baron, I mean, that was just a great play, and it really put Miami in the driver's seat to close out that game. And I personally think that's the moment where they said, "Hey guys, we can end this game soon."
Yeah, because on paper you might think, oh, it was kind of a lackluster outcome, because you associate that, like I said, with kind of like a fight, a bloodlust. But they use that to establish so much prio on the map that they were able to just do that Baron off spawn without any hesitation in their mind that they were going to get tested, and really well played from Phantom
Yeah.
and Final Boss of Ohio to lock down the jungler Fury. So there was no chance of a smite steal, no chance for Northern Illinois to get back in the game. So hopefully we'll get one that is that exciting again. We are going to get to game 2 very soon. Stick around.
Welcome back. Here we are in the draft, already seeing NIU taking that Shaco off the board.
No shocker there. Another Skarner ban to follow. Still not too sure why that's getting banned, but Karthus as well going to be taken away with that Viego. Very similar. Deja vu.
This is, yeah, same bands from last game, same order. Viego taken off, and Anivia. So 3 for 3, same bands for NIU. We'll see if Miami does the same thing. All 6 first bands the same.
Yeah, and then Miami also going to be running it back on the red side. And wait, are we watching the same draft? Garen,
Oh,
Garen. I like that champ. I think it's pretty good into Orn. Um, and it looks the same, but there's just Demacia.
it's Jax. I mean, they both spin.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's the same thing, a little bit different. But Beast Ridge, switching it up in the mid lane, opting for the Talia. Will we see the Galio and Quagger? I really like this pick.
I like the
Yes,
Galio
we
too.
will.
Talia will have a lot of value here, though. Don't get that mistaken. She really good into
Yeah.
Belveth. We saw HBTX dipping and dashing all over these fights, but it's going to make with these rocks, it's going to make it a little bit harder to do that.
Miami banning Swain and NIU banning Fiora, even though they see the top laner and we see both jungles for Miami. Interesting bans, ban 2, round 2, whatever. It's the same as last game.
It's
Just
fine.
weird.
It's totally fine. I think it's a respect ban. They saw, oh, you banned a mid laner and we already locked in our mid laner, and oh no, you know what it is? It was because they did it online. So they're just banning.
Oh, you're so
Yeah,
right.
no, you're right. That's what it was first game too. Maybe
Yeah.
we're not crazy. um,
Quay being locked
yeah,
in here for Lord Bonk Bonk. Excuse me. We know he loves playing that champion.
and
Oh, it could have been out of order, the bans and stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't like that Jinx. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't like the Jinx. I don't like the Milio. I think both of these champs are incredibly weak right now, and I think they're really hard to play well. If you're like Gumayusi or you're like Ruler,
If you're the
obviously,
two best
yeah,
AD carries in the world.
yeah. If you're like Elk, one of those players, Viper, the Jinx is going to feel maybe more impactful. But we do see the Blitzcrank being locked in as a response. I really like that into the Milio because Milio is not like Lulu, where you can just kind of put a shield down and somehow still win a trade. Like Milio just doesn't have that same, uh, you know, trade back potential. And this Jinx is in really deep trouble if she gets ever hooked. Like she's just gonna get blown up. Lord Bonk Bonk back on that way looked tremendously good. So we got a pretty solid 80 top side. Quagert with that more of a supportive facilitator pick. Um, and
Yeah, this is
yeah,
this is an interesting draft. NIU has a lot of go buttons with the Weaver's Wall, Seasoned Assist, Horn, but they don't seem to really have a lot of disengage. I think they're looking more for a front to back team fight angle,
yeah,
with Milio giving Jinx a little bit of extra range. But Miami, we've seen this before. They're going for picks. They're going for dives, especially with this Blitzcrank, signaling like, "Hey, we're going to be really aggressive in the bot lane really early."
yeah. And
I'm
the
ex-
Blitzcrank's gonna look really good on those. Like the Rel struggles to gap close a little bit in those early game roams where he likes to go to the top side, mid,
yeah.
Phantom, wherever. He's going to look way more scary if he's able to land some of these hooks in those roams. And another thing to mention, I did say that the Jinx can be a little bit hard to play out, which is true. You have to be really talented. You have to be very careful with your spacing,
Hmm.
have to get these autos down in fights. But if Jinx does get a reset, she can be quite a menace, especially with Amelia backing her up. If she has this window, it's a very small window right now. It's only a little bit cracked. It's on the second floor. But if she can find it, she can get into the window, then it is a monster.
The thing about this Jinx, though, is that it's going into a Garen, a Galio, a Blitzcrank, all these kind of
Mm.
champions that are a little bit tankier
And,
than your normal
and they jump
ones.
on you or they
And
just run at you.
yeah, and
Yeah.
with the Belveth, I mean, HBTX is just going to be trying to dive on that Jinx over and over and
Talia
over.
rocks, though. Talia rocks
Yeah,
are very important. That's something that I think the Talia, if anything, on Northern Illinois' draft is going to make a difference, it will be that Talia.
I'm
Like,
curious as to why Final Boss didn't pick up Jax again as well. Because I feel like the Jax would have been good to the Counter Strike negates the autos from
I
that
think
Jinx for
Talia
a
blocks
while.
that as well. Talia blocks the leap strike from Jack, I
Does it?
believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
the
The rocks,
rocks.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
So
so
it's
right.
you don't want to lock something like that. Garen is well, and it's something funny that a lot of people don't realize about Garen. Um, his W for 3 seconds or something, maybe it's more than that, gives him it's like 60% tenacity or
Oh, it's
something
stupid.
ridiculous and 30% damage reduction.
Yeah, it's
So for
dumb.
those however many seconds that he has it up, he's just a raid boss. Like, he's so hard to take down, and he just runs at you. He runs at you, he
He
Qs,
Qs,
he
he E's,
E's, and then he R's, and then
and
you die. And that's Garen. So yeah, I mean, I love watching this champ. I was a Garen main back in the day. When I first started, I played two champions.
gross.
I was Mordekaiser when he first got reworked, and Garen. And man, do I love hearing Demacia.
I miss the old Mordekaiser where you could take the dragon out of the pit and have it siege a tower for
No,
you.
I don't. I heard that was
Old
bad.
Mordekaiser was so funny. But I'm interested to see how this top lane goes again. I'm sure Final Boss of Ohio will be able to generate some pressure. I mean, like you said, running at this Ornn, queuing, Eing, and maybe getting him low enough to smite him with Demacia power.
Yeah, maybe an ignite in there, a giant sword to end the combo. But we will see if that can happen very soon. We're getting in game.
Welcome back, everyone. Game 2. One game stands, hopefully, between Miami University keeping their win streak alive, but NIU is the only thing in between them, going 7-0 on the season so far.
That was a weird sound. I don't know what that was. Commando Garen, the most base pick. Oh, it's the
Is that
Jinx train. Yeah, it's a little.
Oh,
Oh,
is it the Christmas Jinx skin? It is.
Final Boss Ohio might be able to spot all of them. They're gonna do the same 5-man top strat. Immediate pause coming through. Final Boss of Ohio said, "I don't have enough polygons on my Commando Garen to be able to play out this game."
Little bit of a pause. That's a player typing /R or /P to pause the game.
Probably a technical issue.
Yeah,
from one of the
technical
sides,
lag,
yeah.
something wrong with the keyboard or mouse.
But it's not
something
on
like
our
that.
end this time.
We don't know that for sure. It could have been.
No,
on
it
our
isn't
end.
because we wouldn't have paused it.
You're so right.
You know what? That's the difference maker. So this time we will be able to get back in the game really quick. I think right now.
Going into it right now. Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa, we're back on the Rift, guys. That pause was very short.
And Final Boss Ohio teleported somehow. How'd he get there? He's
Yeah.
literally like an Enderman.
Miami just setting up kind of the same way that they did last time. NIU looking for the. Oh, they're lane swapping.
Oh,
No.
okay. So smart by them though, because to play.
Oh, we got a little.
You know,
bit
maybe I
of
spoke too
pause.
soon about the.
Oh,
we're
we're
back.
back.
We're back. I didn't speak too soon. I said nothing. So smart by Northern Illinois to make this swap because to play as a Jinx, Final Boss Ohio going to see the swap.
Yeah, Final Boss sees the lane swap.
He's
right
not
there.
happy about it. So yeah, like I said, for Jinx to play into this lane of a Blitzcrank way is just terrible. So like any hook landed, you're in big trouble. So Final Boss going to be forced into the 1v2 territory.
Yeah, Miami sees the top or the bot laners on that top side, so it lets them know that there's not much support for this Vi. So they're going for a 3-man engage on this Vi early. HVTX diving in is trying to put some damage onto Fury. Fury just going to be able to walk out of that one, but Miami University able to take this red buff once it resets.
Yeah, and chased immediately off the red buff is Fury, and that's going to really hurt their clear. I mean, Final Boss Ohio obviously not in a happy position. Has that W with the extra 30% damage reduction, like I said. But, you know, it's just going to feel rough because it's not like last game where you can trade back HPTX. It's just kind of going to get these uncontested Quaker walking up, trying to maybe find a bit of a trade. Going to take some damage.
Talia throwing some rocks, just going to miss all of them. But this lane swap is going to make for a less exciting kind of laning phase because all they're trying to do top lane is deny Final Boss from getting into experience range of these dying minions.
Yeah, but these aren't necessarily champions that can facilitate a dive. Because normally when there is this kind of lane swap situation, you can get something back by diving the top laner and maybe trying to find an early kill and some more pressure for your bot lane. But Milio, just not that guy. He's not
Yeah,
that guy. He's not going to be able to have the CC to facilitate. And Fury already taken low. Grom going to be smited away.
HBTX in there is going to pick up the first blood onto Fury. This is not good at all. Phantom being able to hook Swole Pengu out of there. Lord Bonk Bonk putting down some damage, but that Ornn is just too tanky right now.
Yeah. And it's kind of a lot of things happening at once. I had a feeling that HBTX, you know, he knew that he got him low. He's like, you know, it is my time. And he finds the Grom, finds the kill. And Quaker falling very low. Does want to pick up this cannon. I don't think, yeah, he's going to have to.
Yeah, Quaker took a full combo from that Talia, which really hurts in the beginning of the game. But final boss, I mean, he's not being denied a lot here. I think this lane swap's working, in honestly, for Miami University's favor.
Yeah, no, I mean, you see the Ornn really put behind, especially with that early hook. Hasn't been able to pick up the same XP or CS as Final Boss of Ohio. So really, the goal of a lane swap obviously is to dodge that really tough early game matchup, but also to maybe potentially get some, to kind of mitigate the bleeding for your other lanes. And Ornn is traditionally a good lane swap champion. He's pretty tanky, he's hard to dive, but that early game kill gonna make it hard. And oh, hold on, a back was canceled by Otter.
Phantom and HBTX here gets the flash hook onto the Milio, and they are just going to be able to shred Otter down to pieces. Another kill for Miami University. One away from the Fuse of Warfare. Great fear coming out from Lord Bonk Bonk, denying Fury a gank right there.
Oh, and he's going to be styling on him. That is beautiful stuff. We love to see that. Lord Bonk Bonk showing once again why he is the king of just being alone.
Dude, this guy on Hui is too good. He's disgusting. Quaker being knocked back and stunned up by the rocks, but it looks like NIU is just going to stay with this lane swap theme. Final boss voting.
I love Garen's laugh, man. But yeah, I mean, all across the board, 2 kills being funneled into this Belvest is going to feel really good. Getting a lot of that early game gold, going to help him clear it more efficiently. And Lord Bonk Bonk, once again, just picking up creeps on the bot side. Quagert becoming more and more tanky, and it's looking good.
I'm not sure if I like this lane swap from NIU, for NIU that is, because, I mean, this Garen is ahead on the Ornn in CS, probably ahead in XP too.
As an assist, yeah.
Yeah, we can't really see that right now. But, I mean, the bot lanes are quite even. Lord Bonk Bonk 35 CS, the Jinx with 36. So it's kind of working against NIU, because Miami also is able to pick up 2 kills off of it.
Yeah, I will say that it's enabled HBTX to kind of play around this map, and you know, despite the weird dynamics, it's pretty easy for him to go and get these kills.
Yeah, Jackson up here on the top side as well. The Grubs, I believe, are spawning quite soon. HBTX is up here too. They could look for something right now if they wanted to, but Final Boss of Ohio getting stunned up by the Chomp and slowed by the Zap. But like you said, the 60% tenacity and the Garen passive healing everything up, not going to matter much.
Yeah, Phantom in the area does have that Hex Flash, does not have his Flash. He did use it to get the kill earlier. Quagert not taking any damage from those rocks. Fury maybe looking for a gank in the mid lane, does have that. No, he does. Is he level 6? I can't read.
Fury is level 4 right now.
Okay, so he's incredibly behind. That early game was really just rough for him. Like I said, made it clear so much more difficult. So it's going to make it so these ganks are so much more, are so much harder to execute. Quaker's just walking into the rocks. And Final Boss of Ohio maybe has an angle that healing, but we do see the hook landing.
Phantom with a great hook. The Demacia, the ult from the Garen isn't going to be enough. Ignite was used. The Jinx isn't going to go down just yet. But all this time, HBTX was just sitting in the grub pit, taking all of those grubs. That's a great net. That's a net positive for Miami University. You burn both summoners of the Jinx. You pick up the grubs. You burn the teleport of the Ornn. It looks like they're going to back out of this lane swap. And during that time, Lord Bonk Bonk was able to just farm up and get a lot of solo XP. Quaker looking for something on Beast Fridge, but HBTX is here to give some backup.
Yeah, in the form of those little fishies that I mentioned earlier. Love seeing those. Does have his empowered form from killing that the Void Grubs. And important to note, the Dragon was not taken by Northern Illinois. Fury was too low on levels to be able to do anything. Might be in a tough spot, though. Phantom is in the area to support, but Quaker not really in range to ult yet. So he is relatively fine. He's just going to, Northern Illinois going to opt to not take that fight. Beast Fridge a little low. Yeah, I don't know where Quagert is, if he could join that fight really quickly, because he is that really mobile.
Talia was
Yeah.
really low on mana there, so nothing that they could really do in that situation. But
West Ohio setting the Horn
HBTX,
off
we've seen this
himself.
before with HBTX just going in their opponent's jungle and taking all of it away from them. Final Boss of Ohio starting up a little bit of a proxy, going to keep this Ornn under tower.
Get some deep vision as well.
Fury is not going to like this one at all.
Yeah. Wait. Did Final Boss of Ohio just flash over a wall? I actually don't know. No, he has Ignite.
No, he has Ignite. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So, all right. The colors were a little similar. Had me worried. Lord Bonk Bonk doing what he does best again. And Final Boss of Ohio is helping facilitate this invade and just making sure that none of these waves are going to be finding their way to that top lane.
Vi is invading on the Miami University jungle, is at the Groms, did hit 6, so there could be a potential dive onto Lord Bonk Bonk here.
Look at the wave clear from this guy. I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely an angle. Okay, yeah. Lord Bonk Bonk, gonna have to be wary here. Could get the Spiraling Despair off, but he's just gonna clear the wave and, like, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, this Hui pick is so good at neutralizing any kind of cross-map pressure because he not only can he farm, he can just clear these waves almost immediately to prevent any kind of dive, any kind of threat on him.
Yeah, even though he's forced to play under tower and all those minions are crashing into it, like you said, the wave clear is just disgustingly good that Fury can't even look there for a dive.
Yeah, both sums still gone from the Jinx. We'll see if... Wait. What?
Oh, he has Hex
He does
Flash.
have Hex
He has
Flash.
Hex Flash.
Okay, so I wasn't crazy.
Oh, it was Phantom's Ignite. That's my
Okay,
bad.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I knew. So he didn't. I don't believe he flashed over a wall, but he did Hex Flash over a wall. HBTX gonna be finding Fury here. Gonna chase him off the scuttle. It's my scuttle.
Yeah, HBTX just taking full control of the jungle.
Has
This
his Bork
almost-
online. Yeah.
Bork online, 50 CS up, 10 cam or 10 minions more than the Vi on that jungle item. Gonna have a stronger smite.
Ooh.
Great hook from Phantom and a great knockup to follow up by Quegger. That's going to give Miami University the feat of warfare 10 minutes into this game.
And a little bit of a freeze. I think that happens whenever Belveth like does something. I'm not gonna lie, and I think we might be back. I'm crossing my fingers. Phantom finding these crazy pixel perfect hooks, and that time they were able to find the layering of CC enough to lock that Talia down, get the kill for Quaker, claiming the feat of warfare in the meantime.
Yeah, Phantom is just everywhere right now. You saw him on the top lane hook the Jinx, forcing the flash and the barrier. I mean, you just saw that play right there. But I think from what we've seen, Phantom, is 3 for 3 so far. Just really putting on a clinic with this Blitzcrank. But it sounds like we're getting right back into game right now. So thankfully we didn't have too big of a pause. Super Mega Death Rocket going super wide. But it looks like HBTX was taken down.
Oh, he died to tower.
Oh,
that's what I'm being told by our production team that he did, in fact, die to tower.
That is a bit unfortunate, but that is going to give Northern Illinois University the chance to take this Ocean Drag. But Lord Bonk Bonk finishing that Blackfire Torch pretty early into this game.
Yeah, that's a really impactful item, like we said last time. I would like to confirm with production. Did he get executed, though? Did HBTX get executed?
It looks like the kill credit went on to Talia.
Oh, it did, yeah.
Look on the scoreboard.
Unfortunate. I think it's a shutdown, too. Probably?
I don't know. I don't know if we can see shutdown, which is a little bit unfortunate. But they are going to be able to pick up the Dragon, NIU is. Phantom, seeing Talia. Maybe a hook here, maybe a knockup.
Doesn't have anyone in the area to really follow up, so gonna avoid that for now. HPTX just trying to get these 6 grubs. And the cool thing about the Belveth into these grubs as well is once you kill one, you can get that Quarrel, and then it does the true damage to all the other members. Bonk Bonk could be dodging that W flawlessly.
Yeah, HBTX, 50 CS up on his opponent, is feeling really good about the position that he's in right now. And Final Boss of Ohio, 20 CS up, feeling really good right now. But there's a little bit of a disparity in that bot lane. You don't want to get this Jinx too far ahead, but Phantom lurking here with HBTX. Fury forced to flash, but the hook is going to bring Fury right back to Phantom and HBTX. That's going to be another kill for the Belveth.
And I mean, that's another great clippable moment because he thought he was out. He's like, all right, immediate flash. Not going to feel great about that, but, you know, at least he's out. Immediately yoinked back into the fray and taken down.
Phantom
really
channeling his Scorpion.
Get over here.
That was just a great move.
Quaker going a little deep. Phantom is there. Flash hook going to go wide. HBTX trying to follow up. Going to take more damage from the tower, his mortal enemy.
Yeah, and Jinx did use the Super Mega Death Rocket there as well, so the wave was just annihilated instantly. But Lord Bonk Bonk putting in a lot of damage into Jinx here alone on the bot lane.
Wait.
But Final Boss of Ohio is
This
setting
is
up the biggest proxy you've ever
this
seen.
is the Bouse.
Oh, what is this guy
Oh,
doing?
he dodges the Fault Breaker.
Is he
And
outta
he's
here?
out of there.
Gonna take a couple of turret
wait.
shots, but yeah, he just walks on out of that one.
500 IQ. Oh, wait, hold on.
HBTX taking a lot of damage from this Talia, but is able to duck out of there.
The Hex Flash was so tactical.
This
Like,
guy is doing something else.
no, he had it. He had the plan drawn up in his head. He's like, I'm gonna take the Hex Flash and get into their base, proxy even better, and then still somehow make it out alive, even though he definitely shouldn't have.
For those of you at home, the proxy allows every single wave of Miami Universities to crash into that tower, deal damage to the tower, and
deny,
keep the top laner right there. Doesn't let that Ornn move anywhere. So Final Boss of Ohio is just is really taking Swole Pingu out of this game. But HBTX going to find another look on to Fury.
Phantom,
the hook is going to miss, and they're just going to back out of that one.
Lord Bonk Bonk winning in the 1v1 here. Gonna keep finding this poke damage, such long range damage. And he, unfortunately, with the Blackfire Torch, while it is an amazing item, when he hits any kind of poke onto this Jinx, he can't go under the tower because he will take aggro from that burn.
HBTX here looking again, but you have, and it's just going to smite the Krugs away. HBTX is not letting Fury play this game at all.
A bit more of a slower pace, but yet all the while suffocating defeat. Lord Bonk Bonk taking that Mega Death Rocket like a champion. Gonna take out a lot of the wave, but he should be able to pick up this tower, I believe. And that's plating, falling. Final Boss of Ohio yet again in this top side, very deep, and HBTX gonna take that wolf away. Meanwhile, finishing his Moss Stomper quest.
Fury looking for an engage here. The Galio is going to use the heroic entrance, knocking up the Ornn and the Vi. The Vi season desist onto the Bel'Veth. Ornhorn coming in. They don't have a lot of damage right now, but the Talia has walked in. HBTX is going to try to take the blue buff. Quaker has slain the Vi. HBTX diving back in there with the resets. It doesn't look like they're going to get much out of this one, and that's going to be two members of Miami University falling for one on the side of NIU. It does look like
Jinx died.
on the bot side, Phantom and Lord Bonk Bonk were able to take out the Jinx. So it looks like they're going to try to siege, or they're not going to siege it, but they're going to put a little bit of damage onto that inner bottom tower.
So not a great fight from Miami in the top side. A little sloppy, a little over-aggressive there.
Very
but,
sloppy.
The heroic resistance made it look cool, but unfortunately Talia, we just see the value that she provides in these fights, especially with the stuns. The repeated stun onto the Bel'Veth, trying to dash around the fight. Did get that Void Curl to try and get that massive amount of damage, but Final Boss of Ohio really wasn't able to contribute much. It was really just Talia laying down damage. Quaker finding one in exchange, but not pretty.
Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in when Otter is healing up all of those members. Ornn is just providing so much CC. Vi's being a nuisance, and Talia is just pumping damage into your team.
Final Boss of Ohio might be in trouble here, though. Fury in the area I don't believe has the cease and desist back. Gonna try and get the back of his own off. Where's he going?
Final Boss of Ohio.
He's got me worried, man.
I think he's just going to try to execute, or just trying to walk out of that one while Lord Bonk Bonk and Phantom take out this inner tier 2.
Like, he's literally playing Bowson's Law right now. He's getting so much pressure. All these members of Northern Illinois going after him. Meanwhile, losing jungle camps, losing mid tower. And, you know, that is a shutdown given over, but it is Bowson's Law. Good deaths.
I don't know why I said inner tier 2 for the outer mid lane turret.
It's fine.
That's my bad, but it's whatever. HBTX here looking around. Fury is going to catch him out. Talia has provided those rocks, preventing HBTX from doing anything. Quaker going to have a great taunt, but we have a little bit of action on the top lane too. Swole Peng is going to call the Ornhorn. Is going to miss the knockup. But Quaker is just providing so much damage. Fury forced to flash onto HBTX. Is going to go down. Lord Bonk Bonk pumping so much damage into this Ornn. Is going to go down. Quaker getting the two-man taunt with Phantom and Lord Bonk Bonk coming in. Vi going to pick up another kill onto the Galio, but this fight is getting really messy. I think that's going to be a 2-for-2. Miami University comes out with a little bit more, getting those kills onto Lord Bonk Bonk. Looking for more though. Phantom getting the hook onto Beast Fridge, but Jackson is taking so much damage. Phantom going to go down. Lord Bonk Bonk here alone. Final Boss of Ohio coming through. Fury going to Q forward, but Final Boss of Ohio going to flash, Stride Breaker, and Q onto everyone. Going to smite down the Jinx with the Demacia ult. Lord Bonk Bonk is here, going to fear up Fury. Fury going to go down to the Garen. That is 3 kills picked up for Final Boss of Ohio. And boy, that was a lot of action in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I'd love to get a replay on that fight. Something really important to note, besides, Galio has the heroic entrance in his ability name on his R, but that was a heroic entrance by the Final Boss of Ohio, because that was just, he just ran in like a hero. But something really important to note, I don't think we'll see it, or maybe we will see it here.
What a
No,
great
okay, this
flash
is the
Q.
the Garen coming in to clean up what remains, give Lord Bonk Bonk some much needed support. But something really important I'd like to point out is Phantom, during that team fight, managed to cancel the recast of the Ornn Ultimate using
Yeah.
the Blitzcrank Silence, which is really good, really great, mindful use of that ability. So, I mean, I know that was like a quick team fight, but that was something more subtle that a lot of people might not pick up on, which is, really, really cool.
Yeah, that was a great usage of the ult from Phantom, really showing mastery over the Blitzcrank in this game, landing a lot of hooks, providing a lot of utility for the team. But, I mean, like we saw in that replay, that's just classic Garen gameplay. He flashes, he stride breakers, he Qs, he Rs, you're dead.
And he also went in when like everyone was like half health.
Yeah.
But you know what? Better late than never. And Garen getting monstrously fed off that fight, gonna pick up 2 completed items. And yeah, Belveth struggling a little bit more in these close quarter combats, unfortunately. But Lord Bonk Bonk putting in work to try and equalize the fight. It looked pretty bad for Miami. I mean, we're getting a little bit too little bold.
Yeah, and these feats of strength have been claimed by Miami University. They got the 3 towers, or sorry, the 3 kills. They got the first turret. So they're in a really good position with these upgraded boots. And HBTX is also going to take this Rift Herald as we see Final Boss of Ohio Hex Flash onto the wave to proxy it. Ooh, new Herald graphic.
It's on the side there.
That's so cool.
It's the old Herald, though. It's like a...
It's the old Shelly before the
it
new
was blue.
changes.
I miss it.
But wow, I wasn't expecting that.
It
That was
popped
really cool.
out. Herald jump scare. Quagert also looking for more on the sideline. Phantom always in the area looking for these hooks. And man, if I had to nominate an MVP, it would be Phantom on this Blitzcrank. Looking like so good all over the map, facilitating a lot of the early lead that Miami was able to procure. And a great use of that ultimate in that team fight. And generally, just making it easy for Miami to pick up these champions one by one.
Yeah, Phantom is really good on these engaged supports. He knows when to hook. He knows when he's playing Leona. He knows when to Zenith Blade. He just knows the timings of when to do things and when to not. And, I mean, that Blitzcrank are silencing the Ornhorn. That was just a great heads-up play.
Yeah, and Final Boss of Ohio knows when to Hex Flash into the enemy base and then get killed by all members. Oh God, it's HBTX driving. Don't show it on cam.
I think. Oh, he's driving it top lane.
Oh, no!
And he's not going to get it to turn around. He's going to hit another wall. Do not let this man drive. I don't think I've seen him hit a turret yet with the Rift Herald.
If I was on his team, I would just like, I'd be like, you're not having the Herald.
Phantom with a great hook onto the Milio, and that's just so much damage pumped into a squishy. The Ornhorn is going to knock up Final Boss of Ohio, but he does not care. Quaker getting knocked back into the turret by the Talia. Phantom getting real low, not tanking enough, but HBTX and Lord Bonk Bonk are here. The Spiraling Despair is going to put so much damage into the team of NIU, and they're just forced to back off of this. Lord Bonk Bonk once more, but can't chase it. Final Boss of Ohio taking the bot lane turret and the inhibitor while they're busy fighting.
Top lane POV from Final Boss of Ohio. Crazy fight breaks out. Your team's dying. You're meanwhile. Oh!
HBTX with a really aggressive flash in there onto Beast Fridge, but is going to get stunned up by the rocks, and HBTX is going to go down. That was a really aggressive play. I don't know if I like that very much.
Meanwhile, like I said, Final Boss of Ohio could not care less. But we're seeing, I mean, like I said, this Talia has so much value in these fights. Really being able to stun up this Belva pick and make sure that limiting the movement. This is a lot of damage being done very quickly. Quaker doing a good job to get some early poke damage on that fight. HBTX trying to trade back here, and Lord Bonk Bonk just not being able to land a lot of these skill shots towards the end of it.
Yeah, Miami doing a great job of protecting Lord Bonk Bonk. You saw the Vi was at the Wolves, queued over the wall, but then wanted to go onto the Hui. But you have to get through a Galio, you have to get through the Belveth, you have to get through the Blitzcrank. It's just so much protection for Lord Bonk Bonk, who's just pumping out so much damage and has almost completed his death cap.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I don't want to watch Final Boss of Ohio anymore. It's making me like, listen, he's doing great things in this game. I and he hasn't died a lot, which is surprising, but I'm scared. Like he got the bottom inhib. He every time there's like some crazy bloodbath that breaks out in the enemy jungle and Miami's fighting for their lives. They're like, get down! Oh god, everyone's dead. And he's just literally listening to music, taking a bot in him somewhere in the enemy base. And
Oh, sorry.
yeah, it's just nuts.
Miami University is going to go take this Otacon. They just have complete control over the map right now. I mean, super minions are being shoved in the bot side, and they just have to send that Jinx to match that.
Uh-oh.
It is going to be the 2-minute respawn Otacon as final boss of Ohio flashing in aggressively against the Talia is going to get the turret shot is going to take final boss back to base. 15-second timer, but that's just some classic Garen gameplay right there.
Yeah, important update to note. The new Otacon buff isn't an immediate respawn like it was before. Or like almost immediate. Now you have like a 15-second timer, so the enemy team can get their bearings back. So it's not that immediate back onto the map like it was that you just couldn't keep up with. HPTX going to be taking more of the enemy jungle camps and a dragon as well.
Yeah, Miami picking up this second dragon for them. The Mountain Drake, sorry, I almost said Infernal right there. But HPTX just zoning everyone off of that, and we'll be there to claim it as well. This is looking a lot better of a game than last for Miami University.
Yeah, fixed a lot of their well, actually, no. I disagree. You know what? I'm going to say it. That early game in game 1 was a little bit rough, but Miami is actually taking bad fights, to be honest. Mainly not necessarily because of their skills, but more because of this Talia. This Talia is making it so hard for HPTX to use his lead and play effectively because it just stuns up so many members, including Quagert as well. In these fights, and she's just able to dish out damage. The rest of the team is able to dish out damage, and it makes it that there's this added layer of difficulty, especially considering they're fighting in these enclosed spaces where it's so much easier to get value and dodge all those rocks. It just looks really rough, but usually like I said, you're always going to see Final Boss of Ohio off in the middle of nowhere getting something done.
Yeah, HPTX is going to try to siege up this inner turret on the top side. 4 members are here going to engage upon HPTX, but he does have the Otacon respawn. They're just gonna waste the respawn that I think was probably going to expire here soon. Anyway, Baron is going to spawn in 14 seconds, but Final Boss of Ohio just doing what Final Boss of Ohio does best, acting like a raid boss, putting in a lot of damage onto Snark. The flash season desist from Fury, putting a lot of damage into Final Boss. He is going to go down, but that allows Quagert to put a little bit of pressure here on this top turret.
I don't know. Again, like a little bit of an overextension there. Doesn't have the Otacon buff to come back, so he is going to be gone. But we see a huge hook.
Phantom with a great hook onto Fury. Nowhere to go. It misses the Q over the wall, and Lord Bonk Bonk is going to go 5-0-4. This man is getting so strong.
Yeah, with the help of Phantom, or the trusty Blitzcrank Q will find its mark once again in this game. And this pick has just been something that I didn't expect, but I ended up really enjoying. Phantom going to help Quagert finish the job on this top inner tower, and Miami getting closer and closer to that breaking point where they're just going to be able to end the game.
There is no way you can win when Lord Bonk Bonk is on that champion. Miami University
don't do that.
going to look onto that Baron. I think they're going to use this to try to close out the game. They have all inner turrets already destroyed. The only thing left is the base of NIU, and this is going to be a free Baron for Miami University.
No chance for a contest with that bottom hit him down. Jinx is just trying to clear out that wave. And yeah, I mean, if Final Boss of Ohio wasn't invigorated before to run into the enemy base, now they're purple.
Yeah, I mean, minions everywhere, stronger base stats. The entire team of Miami University just looking so scary. Lord Bonk Bonk completing the death cap. That's going to be a lot more damage than we saw in the last fights.
Yeah, if he wasn't already dishing out these numbers with the Spiraling Despair, all of his really hard to keep track of abilities, you know, you're definitely going to start feeling it now, similar to what we saw last game. And, you know, the tier 3 boots also being picked up by, I think, all members of Miami. Going to have those extra stats from that feats of strength. Final Boss of Ohio going aggro here.
He is going to pop the Ghost. He is going to pop the E, and he is looking to Q onto everyone. Season desist onto Phantom to try to get out of there, but Lord Bonk Bonk's there to support.
Hook landed.
Great hook onto, I believe, that is the Ornn. The Ornn is going to go down. Talia's just matching HP Techs here on this top tower, but they're going to take, Miami is going to take that bottom inhibitor. It is all members of Miami University in the space of NIU. They are doing everything they can to defend. Great spiraling despair by Lord Bongbong, going to kill the Jinx, final boss of Ohio, getting lured. But Quaker is there to match. Phantom, great knockup, is going to secure the kill, excuse me. But Miami University, in beautiful fashion, is going to take game 2 and move on 7-0 in ESC League of Legends. Great play by Miami University.
Yeah, I mean, and all we traded for it was one final boss of Ohio, and we call that worth. So he does fall at the end there to the burn, unfortunately. But really, really great game. A little bit of fun, and
Yeah,
like it was a little bit goofier from the side of Miami. We took some liberties. We took some, we had some fun there. But overall, really great series. We showed a couple more picks that we're, feeling comfortable on.
yeah.
That Belvith looked insane. Blitzcrank, gonna have to write
That,
that one
oh
down.
my gosh, that Blitzcrank was a crazy pull. No pun
Pull,
intended.
yeah. No, okay, that one's allowed. You can't
It
do
was a good one.
everyone does Hue puns. You can do that.
The Blitzcrank was a good one. But also, like you just said, the way, that was a really good pick for Lord Bongbong. We've seen him play this before. We've seen him go 16-0 on this champion. I don't think other teams are giving the respect that Lord Bongbong deserves on that champion.
Yeah, I mean, it just neutralizes all of that side map pressure, makes it so hard to dive, makes it so easy to farm for him under tower, and just kind of be groovy there in the bot lane. So we love to see it. We love to see when it's locked in. And yeah, I mean, Garen, I did like it as much as I hate to admit it. I do, especially because he picked Commando Garen. That is a skin that is, the memes galore. It's like
Yeah,
Shamrock Malphite.
I
So
wish. Or
love to see it.
Leprechaun Vigar.
Well, now, yeah, that one is. I like that one a lot because of the cage.
Yeah,
It's a big rainbow. It's pretty cool. But I also just like St. Patrick's Day. It's fun.
yeah,
But no, I mean that was a really great game, great showing. Northern Illinois looked good, especially in the mid lane. I think
yeah.
their mid laner really showing a lot of the prowess and a lot of these champions, making sure that it wasn't terribly one sided. I mean, they put up a good fight, especially in that last game. And there's definitely room for improvement, but I think both teams looking good in their seasons.
Yeah, NIU looks really good. I mean, there's a reason that they're 5-4. They have some really good wins, like we said, over Kent State, Western Michigan. But yeah,
We're
uh,
unable to overcome the true raid boss
yeah,
in the Red Hawk.
Beast Fridge looking really good on that Talia, though. I'm sure that's a pick that we'll have to look out for in the future.
Yeah, maybe in the playoffs, we'll
Yeah,
see.
but I mean, Miami University, they just look like this unstoppable force right now.
Yeah, this
They are
and then there's we haven't found our immovable object.
No, they
Yeah.
are. I mean, HBTX is just putting so much pressure on enemy junglers and shutting them out of the game. Final boss just has full control of the top lane. I mean, even if he loses lane a little bit, like the Jax when he was playing Jax against a Garen, the 8 minutes of lost footage. Oh, that was Mikey J. But still, final boss of Ohio, just a great player, putting a lot of pressure, allows HBTX
To thrive in
to
the
thrive
invades,
in the
yeah.
jungle. But then you have Quegert playing these supportive picks. He's not looking for,
He's not
uh,
gonna be the star of the
yeah,
show, yeah.
but he's doing a
He's
great
doing what he
job.
needs to be.
E-
And yeah, and that's I think the crux of what Miami is everyone knows what they need to be. It's a well-oiled machine.
Exactly, exactly.
So hopefully we'll see more of that. This Saturday we are not having a game. I believe it's going to be rescheduled. So we will definitely let you know. Keep up with our Twitter to see when that game is going to be put out on broadcast. But there will be another game. Miami University advancing to 7-0 or 7
7-0.
and 0 now in ESC action, and we will see if we can keep that undefeated streak alive going on.
Yeah, like you just mentioned, that game that is supposed to be played this Saturday is moved to next Sunday. That is going to be Miami versus Ohio University. Classic action.
March
March 2nd,
2nd. Yeah.
sorry, not next weekend, the week after next. But we will have a game Wednesday and Saturday next weekend. So stay tuned. Follow our Twitter, RedHawksGG. For that, we post all of our game day graphics. Our schedules are there.
Yeah. Make sure to stay tuned because there will be more action. And this has been Devin the Doc O'Connor.
It's been Isaac Rhythm Arredondo.
And you have a great night.